What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Pit. Today we're looking at 10 reasons why the WWE may end up getting canceled. At number 10, WWE Network failure. At this point, WWE has invested a lot of money in a giant television venture that may never happen. Originally, the WWE Network was supposed to debut at WrestleMania this year. They missed that mark by months with no further update of when we may see it. Maybe it will happen in November of this year, or maybe not. It's looking more likely it may air in 2013. Investors are leery about the network, as well as the overall profitability of the company. In the last 2 years, WWE stock has gone from $18.64 per share to $7.86 per share. At number 9, no sign of the next boom. Raw 1000 was a great show, but it was clear that the future of the company isn't looking as bright as some previous eras. As much as people tend to hate movie reboots, WWE could learn a lesson from them. They don't need to rewrite their characters with new backstories. They don't need to start from the beginning. What they could really use is a change. Remember that after the ridiculous Batman and Robin film, we got Batman Begins when a new creative team took over? Trying to shake things up may be risky, but it could pay off by giving fans who quit watching wrestling another chance at tuning back in. They may even latch on to something new that resonates with American pop culture once again. At number 8, Vince is getting crazier. Vince McMahon is 75 years old, and by his own admission, he gets 4 hours of sleep a night. Maybe he should take more naps. Vince has always been a little eccentric, but it's been reported that he's blowing up behind the scenes more often than ever. He got mad when his name was mentioned on TV, and he nearly fought his own writer. He continually mocks JR on his own TV show, and he said that he'll die in his chair, which means if he keeps losing his marbles, we could be in a strange 10, 20, or 30 more years. At number 7, lack of stars. The WWF era is generally agreed to have ended around 2002. In the past 20 years, which big stars have even been created in WWE? What is damaging to WWE is that in those 20 years, many of the stars of the Monday Night Raw era have disappeared. Rock, Austin, Goldberg, Hogan, Angle, Nash, Hardy, RVD, Taker, HHH, Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, HBK, you know the rest. And they're no longer in the company or on a very part-time basis. That's a huge loss and a lot of names to replace, but WWE has invested in only a few guys to replace them. It's the company's own fault, as time and time again, they've chosen to play it safe instead of taking a chance on someone new. Fans keep clamoring for new talent. It's time for the WWE to get serious about it before it's too late. At number 6, Triple H in charge? It looks ever more likely that once Vince McMahon is gone, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon will be in control of WWE. That's a scary thought. First off, Stephanie is a big fan of hiring former soap opera writers who have no history in wrestling or even watch wrestling to the creative team. Soap operas and WWE are completely different beasts. Though the two may be compared in a rough storyline sense, daytime soap operas don't rely on trying to convince people to come out to the shows in order for the program to survive. Second of all, Triple H isn't really the hippest guy in the room. He doesn't seem to have a grasp on pop culture and often resorts to lazy milking for the camera and tired jokes when he's on TV. Outside of the ring, he's already made a big mistake when referring to UFC this way. I think if anyone needs to evolve, it's them. If Hunter truly believes that the UFC and not the WWE is the one who needs some change, then we could be in for a rough future. At number 5, UFC becomes more popular.
Watch this! Watch this! Wow! Oh, moonsault! Evans hit home! Here it is! Phenomenal!
Right through the table!
Despite what Hunter says, UFC is doing just fine. In a direct comparison between the two companies, UFC crushes WWE in a pay-per-view matchup. If WWE fans pay $50 to watch a UFC show, what are the odds they're going to want to drop another $50 to watch WWE the following weekend? Sports fans across the country are often packed when a UFC show is on. WWE doesn't bring in that same crowd, and many places have quit showing them altogether. At number 4, ratings keep declining. Teenagers have quit watching Raw in droves. That's a troublesome sign, which means WWE maybe only to get kids hooked on wrestling with John Cena, Santino, and Hornswoggle, but once those kids turn 13, the show seems lame to them and they might never come back. Why would USA Network pay millions of dollars to wrestling every week when they could pop in a CSI rerun and draw the same rating? The Attitude Era ratings were completely unsustainable. There's no way that nearly 10 million people watching during the Monday Night Raw were going to stick around. It's not beyond believability that the WWE could dip into the mid 2.0s consistently within the upcoming years. If that happens, there's no telling where the show may end up. At number 3, overexposed talent. 3 hours of Raw, 2 hours of SmackDown, Superstars, a new show on Ion soon, and their new Saturday morning series. Does anyone need that much wrestling? At least WWE desperately needs to do something about their talent appearing so often on TV. Many fans have grown tired of Cena in the main events. It can be argued that Hulk Hogan was spotlighted as the face of the company for even longer than Cena has been. That's absolutely true, but with one gigantic difference. Hulk Hogan wasn't on TV every single week. Cena has been the top guy in WWE for so long. He's been on virtually every Raw except when he's been injured or filming a movie. That means we've seen him hundreds of times in hundreds of different matches. Even worse, with the brand split apparently over, guys like Sheamus, Ziggler, and Del Rio usually show up on both Raw and SmackDown. They're overexposing them twice as fast. Today's roster is completely overexposed, and some guys need a break from TV before fans get sick of them seeing them for good. Number 2, Logic. What is that? Just a few questions I'm going to throw out there from the past couple of years. Why is there a brand split anymore? Why are there 2 world champions? How is Hornswoggle the anonymous GM? Why did Cena say that Big Show could have stopped him from pinning John Laurinaitis? Why did Kevin Nash text himself from Triple H's phone? What was the Nexus' greater purpose? Why didn't McMahon do anything to the Nexus after they put him in a coma? If Santino can't control Cobra, why does he even wear the sock? How does Santa Claus give Hornswoggle the power to talk? And how did they get a camera inside of Stephanie McMahon's dream? At number 1, it happened to WCW. Believe it or not, fans thought they'd never see WCW go under. Sure, they went years without making money in the early 90s, they had incompetent bookers, and they were always in the shadow of the more popular WWF, but they had their secret weapon, Ted Turner. Ted was at the helm for years, and he didn't care if the company was losing money. Wrestling helped build his empire, and he stayed loyal to it no matter what. Times changed though, and business changes also. Turner was ousted from power from his own company when AOL merged with Time Warner. He lost WCW, the Atlanta Braves, and in the end, billions of dollars. There was no one to save WCW from their mistakes now. In a little over 3 years, WCW went from being the hottest, most watched wrestling show on earth to going out of business. Don't get me wrong, WWE will probably be in business for more years, but if you look at the history of wrestling, the continued long-term success of any company is far but guaranteed. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video of WWE Pit. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below if you're gonna still be watching WWE in about 10 years. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and have a great day.